Hello, everyone. I'm Theo Eshart from Henry Stewart Events, and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar sponsored by CI Hub. During the session, please send through your questions at any time using the questions box, which you can open by clicking on the question mark at the top of your GoToWebinar window. Also, a reminder that a recording of this session will be sent to you tomorrow, so you can view it again at your own pace. And now it's my great pleasure to pass you over to Lara Guerard, Partner Manager at CI Hub. Thank you, Lara.
Thanks, Theo, and thanks everyone for being with us today. My name is Lara, Partner Manager at CI Hub, and today I'm joined by Fabian, our Chief Product Officer at CI Hub. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with CI Hub, we provide universal content access across your enterprise. So that means you can get right to using the content and assets you need, when you need them, and in the application of choice that you work in. And for today's session, we're going to be talking about AI. And as we all know, AI is definitely dominating the content and DAM conversations at the moment. And the reality of AI doesn't always match the outcome. So in today's presentation, Fabian will talk through some of that noise and cut through some of the noise that we're hearing and really focus on what's actually working in practice. So by the end of today's session, we hope that you'll have 3 key takeaways: a clear view of where AI in DAM is delivering value, an understanding of why some of your projects may get stuck and how you can potentially overcome that, and then a very simple framework to go from experimentation and pilot into actual production. And with that, I will hand over to Fabian. Thank you, Fabian.
Thank you so much, Lara. Hello, everyone. I hope you're excited as I am for this webinar. I'm really looking forward to it. Prepared a few things for you, and gonna get right into it, I think. So we're gonna go through roughly 6 sections today, and we will keep coming back to the slides to kind of check in where we are. We have about 34 slides and 7 demos today to get through. So it's not too many slides, but very exciting demos, which I'm really proud of, and proud of our team who has prepared them, and very much looking forward to it. So that is the question: can you safely give AI access to your DAM? And at the end, we'll hear the answer to that. And hopefully it's not just a yes or no answer, but also an answer with how and why. So I'm Fabian, the CPO here at CI Hub, and I'm very fortunate today that you're giving me a chance to help you get the most out of AI, because it's here and there's a lot to be gotten from it. And every now and then I also get the privilege to demo some really cool stuff that our team has been working on and delivering to production environments, and that gets me really excited. And I hope to have packaged this up into some very insightful info and know-how that you can use in your organizations to get the most out of AI. So if you're here today, you're probably here because you're interested in how your company can get better by using AI, but not just by using it, but by using it right, because there's definitely better ways of using AI compared to maybe others. You want to minimize the risks or eliminate the risks that AI might hold, and maximize the benefits, reap the benefits to the full, and leave nothing sort of on the table. You might be working on an AI strategy. You might have an AI strategy with some gaps in it that you're looking to fill. Or you might want to test if the AI strategy you have is the right one, or if it's missing anything. Maybe you're helping a customer or a client to do that. And if that's the case, then today's webinar is for you. I hope to give you some useful input that you can use in your work. But also, If you're looking at sort of implementation details or figuring out solutions to specific governance or AI connectivity problems, then we've also got you covered in the demo section, where we kind of zoom in from our 10,000-foot view right down to the ground level for a few moments at least, and really look at the practice. I think it's really important to kind of connect back to what actually happens, the technology and the sort of benefit it gives, and not just look at slides and theoretical strategies. Right, so with any good strategy, we start with an honest look at where we stand today. That's always a good starting point to establish the truth of today, because only if we get that right, we can kind of determine a path to where we want to get to. And then after we've kind of established where we stand, based on some data, some exciting reports, that came out recently, I show you some of the most interesting stats. We will look at the challenges that we face. We will see opportunities and new technologies that help us answer those challenges in the sort of catalyst and demo section. And finally, we'll look at a framework that kind of guide our path towards the goal of making our companies better through the use of AI. So we're going to start with ourselves, and Theo is going to pop up a questionnaire now. I just want to get a show of hands from everybody where you are right now with your AI strategy and implementation. Are you A, just experimenting with it, nothing is in production? B, it's running part of your workflow, or you're using it in elements that really does see real world live usage, and still figuring out other parts? Or are you already fully AI first, or AI native in your company, and everything is touched by AI? We'll compare your answers in a little bit to some of the research that's been going on to see how this group in this webinar compares to the wider DAM industry. And I'm very curious about the result. All right, it's been a minute, so a few more seconds, then Theo will close it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so very interesting. 65% are experimenting with nothing in production yet. 32% is running parts of the workflow and still figuring out the rest, and 3% is AI native. AI touches everything, if not a lot, of your production kind of workflows. So super excited. This shows, well, we'll try to remember that. So 65, 32, 3%. We'll see some of the answers, some of the industry benchmarks in a bit. Maybe Lara, if you make a note of those numbers, then, because I for sure will forget. Okay. I'm going to start with a statement from Haddad Consulting. So Christina Haddad, she actually launched the AI in DAM and Content Operations 2026 report yesterday. If you've missed that launch, I recommend to look it up and read that report. Very, very insightful. And one of the things from the previous year's report, because yesterday's only came out yesterday and I was already a good way through preparing this presentation, we're going to look at some 2025 things, but we're also going to look at some 2026 most recent insights from yesterday. So AI is only as strong as its foundation. And I want to extend from that and say that your DAM is only as useful as the AI you connect it to. Of course, DAMs are already useful, and they have been useful for your people, for your workflows. But in an AI world, which we're now well and truly, maybe not in the middle of, but we've well and truly entered the AI world, they only stay useful if they are connected to that AI. At the same time, a general or generic AI itself can't really be good or good enough in a specialized corporate world, because that specialized corporate world or work world has lots of special facts, special truths, and workflows that the AI doesn't know. And so I want to speak about this word grounding, or to ground. And it doesn't mean take off your shoes and walk on a piece of grass, although that's also always good advice. But it means giving AI a core truth, something that you know is true and correct. Because if AI doesn't know something that's correct, it will make a best guess. And I call it the best guess. Some people call it hallucination. And this best guess is pretty darn good on most general topics. And AI convincingly tells you so, that it is true, but it's just the best guess. But it's not very good at this kind of specialist knowledge. That's not general knowledge. Maybe it's knowledge that's been hidden from AI, that AI can't really know yet because it's something internal to your company. It's something that just happened an hour ago, or is from yesterday, or just lives in your internal documentation, in your DAM system. So with this kind of stuff, AI is not very good, and you will feel like AI is lacking and the AI is bad. But AI, grounded with that truth, gets much, much better. And in relation to dams, it means that the dam is that grounding. It gives AI a lot of truth about your assets, but also about everything around the assets, the context. It gives AI information about workflows, about context of assets. So that is sort of the opening. And we're going to talk more about grounding. I'll go into a little bit more detail on it. So now let's have a look where the industry stands and to today's reality. So the last report said that 72% roughly are still in the experimental phase. I think we were a little bit better than that, right? I think we were, what was it, Lara?
We had 65% are still in the experiment.
Yeah, okay, great. And then we had about 30% in the middle and 5% full in full production. So the industry numbers are this. So in parts, this group is ahead. In other parts, this group is behind, and it's stuck in the middle. It's stuck exactly in between. And so, and I love the report from yesterday. It's about it's not a model problem. We're stuck in between these two phases, but the reality is it's not the problem that the AI is not good enough, that the AI doesn't give good answers. The tools exist, the LLMs are good enough. The gap is trust, governance, integration, and execution. In summary, is trust. We don't trust the AI because the AI makes stuff up, because the AI doesn't have the truth. It's lacking the grounding. So this kind of separation is truth, and we will try to find a way to give AI that truth. Looking at some further numbers, so there's lots of claims about AI, but this one problem, trust, hasn't been solved yet. There's gazillion MarTech products. Many people are using AI, and it's getting more and more powerful all the time. And AI is becoming a commodity. The tokens that AI gives back to us are getting more and more similar. Each of the models are getting more similar. Yes, there's still differences between, let's say, the Claudes and the OpenAIs or ChatGPTs and the Geminis. but they're getting more and more similar. And the real differentiator isn't the AI anymore, but the context that you give it. This is from the MarTech for 2026 report from Chief MarTech. I have like a glossary at the, not a glossary, a list of all the sources I use, so you can find those reports and look it up yourself as well. And more tools don't solve this. The organizations that will be winning are the ones that can create trust, can create the structure around AI that lets you trust it. I don't want to alarm you, but the pressure is building. If you're not in the AI game yet, if you haven't entered it yet, the sort of competitive pressure is building. You're not early anymore. The early times, I think, are gone, but speed and early adoption has helped you or people to get a good starting position in this competition, with your competitors, but it's not gonna get you to the goal and keep you ahead. AI know-how and the understanding of AI and its users and giving AI context in the right way is your best bet on the next, or to stay ahead of your competition, because lots of people are already using AI even in their damn workflows. Even more people are thinking very positive about AI and DAM, but only 26% are really satisfied with the results so far. So there's a lot to be gained. My hypothesis is that many people are not using AI right yet. The AI can do it if you use it right. So what was on the DAM AI wish list? Again, this is from last year. We're going to get to this year in a minute. So automated tagging and metadata, improved search and discovery, workflow, resource management, automation, and also security compliance was also important. But two of them are really about accountability, make it trustworthy. And of course, if you have all this great automated tagging and metadata, you now have 5 pages worth of metadata for every asset. Who's going to read all that? Who's going to use that metadata and make sense of it? Will your people? Maybe not so much, but maybe an AI can actually make that metadata worthwhile having. So these are 2 nuggets from the report that Christina Haddad from Haddad Consulting published yesterday. How are you currently using AI in your content-related systems? And again, the number 1 area that people are increasing their investment is systems integration. So connecting data with AI and connecting AI with tools and services where people need the AI as well as need the source data that the AI is already connected to. A lot of people are using native AI features in vendor platforms, so that's kind of in a closed environment where AI helps you do something in the tool. A lot of people are using standalone AI tools, so like your ChatGPT or your Claude, that has no integration with other things. And only a few so far are using pre-built AI integrations to connect AI, integrate AI into other tools. And some people are even building their own. And I know why so few people are doing it, because it's bloody hard. We've been doing that. Building integrations, and it's not easy. You have to stay on the ball every other day. One of the AI vendors releases a new feature, a new capability, or changes one or deprecates one, and you kind of have to stay on top of that and keep adapting. So building your own thing is really hard, and it's definitely a challenge unless you have a very, very specific use case that nobody else can cover. Then maybe it makes sense. Otherwise, you should be looking at kind of third-party providers, I guess. Again, recommendation, read the full report. Really interesting stuff. All right, so why AI project stall is one more thing I wanted to cover here. Number one topic, privacy, security, rights management, governance is the hardest challenge to overcome. Why AI is not moving beyond the experimentation phase. Training AI for specific business needs was the second answer, and that essentially is grounding. So a specific business need and training the AI for it really means giving AI the right context so that it knows what to do, what is right and what is wrong, or what the next steps are. So again, we will show how new technologies can answer those issues that currently are hampering AI deployments. The top fear essentially is losing control. So to summarize, these 3 points kind of separate the pilot from production, giving access, having the right governance, and also being able to audit and know when AI has touched something or used something. And if you can't answer those 3 sort of questions, then you're probably still in a pilot, or you should be looking at very quickly getting an answer to those. And this is kind of like part of the framework that we'll look at the end. There's some more detailed questions we'll go through that you can ask yourself, ask your organization or about your organization to assess where you stand. All right, so that was today's reality. Now I'm gonna jump into the catalyst, the technology. So AI has a standard way, has a standard way to talk to data. It's called MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's a connectivity standard that connects any AI tool, or most AI tools. The big ones have all adopted it. It was started by Anthropic, who are obviously running Claude, but now been adopted by OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, and all the big players. Connects it to anything that has an API, essentially. There's now just recently been an extension called MCP Apps, and that doesn't just give data to AI, but it also gives us the ability to show a user interface inside the chat interface. Because up until recently, if you asked AI something, you got a text answer, a wall of text most of the time that nobody actually reads completely. But we now have the ability to show a user interface, which makes interaction with the AI much simpler. And with that, we can ground AI. We give AI the actual assets, the asset context in terms of metadata, and the workflow in terms of maybe a status of an asset. Is it under review? Does it still have to be reviewed? Is it released? Is it been removed from circulation? So those things are also covered in many DAMs metadata. And CI Hub Bright is essentially exactly that. That gap fills that gap. We connect your AI, any AI, private AI systems, something that runs on your own server farm or in your own cloud, with lots and lots of DAM systems. And we have a very aggressive strategy to expand that to even more DAM systems as well as other data source systems. We give it assets, the context, and the workflow in real time, in line with policies for access for every request, in line with rights and approval processes, and giving a ping to the DAM API every single time AI wants to access something for a full audit log. Enough of the theory, let's jump into the demos. I've got 6 demos on here, but really I want to start with demo number 0, which actually is the most important one. And just let me get this up here. It's about the setup. How do you even connect? So here we see a Claude chat interface, but it works the same in other chat interfaces. We're adding the MCP server, and all you need to do is paste this URL into there, and you have the CI Hub MCP server connected. You click on connect, and I'm just bringing the window in. And here we see 2 levels of authentication. So number 1, step 1 is authorized with CI Hub. That's important because that prevents anybody in your company who has heard that they can connect to your DAM system with AI from just doing it. You need to give them a license to do it. Without that license, they're not able to go any further, and you control who in your organization has that license and who does not. And this is kind of like the first barrier, so to speak, for ensuring your governance and your policies are adhered to. So only people you give a license to can even authorize into this first step. As a next step, we log into the DAM systems, and all of the DAM systems are available here. I'm just going to log into a few of them just very quickly. And this is the standard login process to this DAM system. If you have SSO enabled, SSO will work here. Also, step 1 will also support SSO, so you don't have to type in your password every single time. The SSO flow will work. And I can connect several DAM systems now at the same time. And DAM systems are cloud storage, so I'm doing this for a few of them here. And once I have 3 of them connected, we're going to keep going. What's important to know here is the AI gets only access to the things that this user who logs into those systems is allowed to see. So your DAM permissions are respected. The AI will only see the files and folders and the metadata that this user is allowed to do. So you can put this user into a user group in your DAM system, and all the rights are automatically transferred. You don't have to administrate this again somewhere else. Here we're seeing all the tool calls that this MCP server offers. And again, there's like users can choose to have AI ask them every time they want to give access. But here I clicked on always allow. Again, the DAM system overrides any of this. If the user is not allowed to upload something, the AI will not be able to do it. If the user is not allowed to rename an asset, the AI is not going to be allowed to do it. If the DAM system doesn't allow you to see certain assets, the AI will also not see it. So your DAM system stays the gatekeeper for all of this. Also, if this employee leaves the company, the AI will also lose access if you remove them from the DAM system as a user. If they change roles and they should see different folders in certain assets, not anymore, or they get access to new assets, automatically the AI will also get access to those. So really important. This is how you keep control over who has access to what. Next, I want to show a really cool use case, getting brand colors, getting inspired, and building something with AI. So this I recorded last night, apparently late night, according to Claude. And I'm just checking what systems are connected, and I'm telling it to connect to Dropbox. And it now goes to CI Hub, to the connector, and it fetches me, looks at the available tools, determines that there is Dropbox connected, because I've just authorized it, as you've seen. I'm going to skip a little bit further ahead, because sometimes I don't like waiting for the AI, and I want to be mindful of your time. And it has found something. It has found these brand colors here, which we have added to Dropbox. That goes hand in hand with our product called the brand connector, where you can define brand colors and store those in your DAM system, so your DAM system stays or becomes the system of truth for brand related content. I've asked about the colors. It can also be brand assets, of course. And interestingly, it says that the Pantone values look off, which is correct. And I was amazed that I found it, because we take the hex value and we take the next best Pantone, because the Pantone is not always exactly the same as the hex, and put it there, and AI noticed that. So really impressive. Okay, so now it's found our brand colors. We've given it some truth. We've grounded it in our brand. And now I want to find some cool car-related images, but now in box. So we're multi-system here. And you see the interface. So this is new. This is something that wasn't possible until just recently. We see the actual assets that live in box. It's made a search for keyword. It gives me all the filters up the top, and I can refine my search, and I can click on the assets and select them. I can see the metadata of those assets, not in a wall of text, but in a visual way. So super, super powerful, something that wasn't available before. I can now here select these assets and let AI know what I've selected, or AI knows what I've selected. So it becomes better communication, better conversation with the AI, not just in text. I don't have to type, please use car1.jpg and or action automotive car.jpg, but instead I just copy and paste the prompt here, which just says selected assets. You can also just type use the selected assets. And now I can ask it to create something with those assets and the brand colors, and it will create me a quick landing page. I'm just going to skip through all those things because it just thinks a lot and does things, and it tells me I don't have any more credits at the end, but I do. And now it's done, and I can open this page in my browser, just to show you, where is it? Here. And it's used those assets that I've just selected, and it's made something really cool in the brand colors that I've given it. So super, super powerful. We've given ground truth, corporation truth to AI that it couldn't know otherwise, and it's produced something valuable. But what if we want to take this a step further and connect with other tools, not just with my DAM system? So here we're actually connecting to Frontify now, and I've asked it to find information about a fashion shoot, and it finds this folder in Frontify in this case with some fashion shoot assets. But instead of selecting them manually, which I could of course do, I'm actually wondering about the AI, or I'm actually asking the AI which ones of those are approved for Canva usage. And it gets the metadata of those assets. And after a little while, finding all of those, it gives me a list of all the Canva approved assets. And it finds exactly one of all the inspected ones. And with that, I'm asking it to create a Canva design. So it then gets the download URL, gets the assets. I'll skip ahead here, and it fetches the Canva MCP, which is really nice. I've been using that for a bit, and they've been making continuous improvements to it. It's getting better and better, and it's super powerful now. If you're more of an Adobe shop, that they also have something on offer there, the Adobe for Creatives MCP server, or MCP app is, I believe. I've also tried that, and it's very cool, but here we use it in Canva. So now we have created a design with a Canva approved asset directly from my DAM system. And in the meantime, while it was doing that, I went on the other screen, I went to Frontify, and I approved a few more assets for Canva usage. So now I'm asking it to check again if there are other assets that are fine to use in Canva. And again, it can now check live, and it sees the latest changes that have been done in the DAM system. Again, giving it the truth from just a minute ago. Maybe my colleague was approving those assets, and now it's found those approved assets, and I can now tell it, great, use the first draft, and let's go with 2 other approved images. Again, it fetches those images, it attaches them to the design candidates in Canva. I'll skip ahead for this one, and it outputs then a final design. Again, reminding me that I don't have credits, even though I did. I'm not sure why I did that. And generates this output for me, which I can open up in Canva directly, and I see the final design in Canva with my approved assets. So super powerful. with very few prompts, very few know-how that I needed to know about these assets, AI was able to pick the right assets that are approved and use them in a design. Of course, this is something that an individual person did. That could also be automated with an automation tool, which we'll go into in a minute. Just quickly, I wanted to show that this, of course, also works in GPT. It's very, very similar. So in ChatGPT, I can also add the MCP server and ask it to find me something, and it will also show me this interface here, just to prove the point that ChatGPT also supports the MCP app. And also here, we will be in the ChatGPT store very shortly. We're just waiting for final approval from OpenAI, just like in the Claude App Store. We will also be very shortly be in. I'm gonna, because we're already quite far into this, I'm gonna skip the AI refusal in Claude. It was a different time when there was no asset approved for Canva usage, and I've tried to get Claude to create an asset, but it kept saying, no, there's nothing approved. You really should reconsider this and not use it. So it really helps you keep your governance in place. And one of the last demos here, I want to show you how this could be how AI and DAM systems can work in conjunction in an automated workflow. Here I've got N8N, which is an automation tool, and I've built a few flows here. So here I've created a schedule trigger that should, for example, trigger every minute. So every minute it should go and do something. Created an AI chat agent here, and I've told it to check Frontify for recently added rally assets that have been approved. For example, a photographer could be at a rally event and take continuous shots and upload them from his camera to continuously to the DAM system. And there might be an editor in the DAM system which looks at certain shots and says, this one is approved, that's a great shot, we want to use that. The AI agent checks together with the CI app MCP server, which I've connected here, finds those assets, and then tells me or sends me a Slack message with those assets listed and linked. Of course, I could make this flow more complex with if statements and rules, and I could also not just send a Slack message, I could also send it off to some other service or send it to Canva or Adobe for creating a social post that then automatically gets posted on one of the social channels, for example. And now it goes away and automatically does that. I don't have to interact with it at all. I'm just sort of clicking through here what it does. It's lots of like technical bits and pieces. But what's important, if we skip forward, it successfully completes this, and it sends me a message in my Slack channel with the recently approved assets from Frontify, direct with a preview link and the link to Frontify, and we can see here this asset was approved. It's rally related. You can see the name doesn't have anything to do with rally, but the AI found it because of the great AI tagging, and I can download that image straight away and use it or push it onto another step in the workflow. So very, very powerful. We are slightly running behind. I have another N8N use case, which I'm going to skip today, but if you're interested in seeing that, please reach out. I'm very happy to show it. I've got lots more ideas for use cases, but we are running a little bit behind, so I'm going to skip that. But we can check what's been changed, what has changed in the DAM system, let's say in Box for the last month, and give me a report for my team meeting. That saves me a couple of hours of work, for example. All right. Guiding framework. All right. So to recap, how can you become one of the 23% from earlier? How can you get everything? Oh, wrong screen. Sorry. There. Just quickly. This was the last demo here that I skipped, but if you're interested, happy to do that in a one-on-one. All right, so How can you become one of the 23% earlier? Today we only had one answer, or 3% of people who were here in the top group. How can you do it? What are they doing differently? They have a formal AI strategy in place. And Christina Haddad kind of kept reiterating that, how important that is and what should be in that strategy and what not. Those organizations treat their DAM not just as storage, but really as part of the AI infrastructure. And they see how important it is that this DAM holds the actual truth, because only if they can give that to AI will the AI answers get better and trustworthy. They use integrations that scale, so that they can roll out to everybody in the company, and not just a few early adopter geeks who know what they're doing, but really roll it out to everybody. They're upskilling their people. They're teaching them how to get the most out of AI, and they don't see governance and licenses and rules as a constraint, but rather competitive advantage, to rely less on individual judgment, but rather have the truth and give the truth to the AI, so that AI has also good judgment, and this governance gives that good judgment to AI. A pathway to get there. I love to start with why. So one of the great books I've read, Simon Sinek, Start With Why. I really recommend it to everybody. It helps me kind of find clarity and deliver clarity. So defining the why, really, really critical. Assess your readiness. Make sure your DAM health is up there. The content is correct and true, and if not, fix it. Build the right team, upskill, inform, get everybody on board, run some experiments, make sure it works, and then choose your integrations to give AI access. Match your risk tolerance and your capacity, and so on and so forth, to decide which plugins, which tools are the right one, and then operationalize. So those are some steps you can take. Again, based on Haddad Consulting. I didn't come up with this, but I think it's very, very useful. There's some questions you can ask yourself as a decision maker for DAM, as a DAM decision maker, before signing off on any AI DAM integrations. Do they respect your existing DAM access policies, or do you need to create a separate access layer? Is there an audit trail that you can look into in case something goes wrong? Does the system surface the rights, or are people just dragging files onto the chat window without any context? Does AI know those rights? Do people know those rights? Who owns that integration? Is it maintained? What happens if there's an update to the API of the DAM system, of the AI, of another connected system? Who is the owner of that, and who makes sure it's always up to date and uses the latest features and doesn't just break? When an asset expires or access is revoked, what happens in the AI? Does it live on some hard drive? Can people still use that asset? Or does the AI lose access? And does it, of course, scale across multiple DAMs? Because many of our customers don't just have one DAM, but they have a DAM in cloud storage or a SharePoint, or some of those other tools, or even several DAM systems if maybe a company joined or was acquired by another company, or the marketing team has special needs, so they have a different DAM for their stuff. So does it scale across multiple DAMs and storages? So if you can't answer those questions, you probably aren't quite enterprise or production ready, but those questions help you get there. If you're a DAM vendor and you want to help your customers get there, most of your customers are already having this conversation. They're thinking about this, they're doing stuff, and they see AI or AI capability as a key reason to upgrade or switch tools. So it's really important that you stay up to date and move with your customers and give them the things they they need and they want to make the most of AI. And CI can help you with that. So if that's something that's interesting to you, let us know. If you're already our partner, great to see you. Would love to get your feedback, your insights, your input into this as well, any opportunities you see. All right. Oh, that was the wrong button. No. Now I've pressed the wrong button again. 1 second. We'll get there. We'll get there. No. Okay, I'll just go forward like this. Can you safely give access to your dam? 3 things to know to make it safe and scalable. Use a protocol, the right protocol, so that there's no rogue access. Ground your AI and have the foundation, the foundational truth somewhere, ideally living in your dam, to get from experiment to enterprise. If you're a decision maker for dams, next steps, evaluate the previous kind of recommendations, explore, try it out, check out our MCP server, check out other MCP servers to connect you to other tools, connect it maybe to a staging system to just try out things and see what it does. Read the research reports, look into those. Very, very powerful, really good ideas in there. That's what I recommend to do. If you're a platform vendor, a DAM vendor, find out about our partner program, maybe work with a couple of customers, understand their needs, have a conversation with them and see if there's a good fit to try that out and yeah, discover what's possible. That gets me to the end and to your questions. I don't know if there have been any.
There have. So we've
Okay.
had quite a bit of questions in the chat. I think we've managed to answer the majority of them, but I will call out a few because I think some really interesting topics have come up, Fabian. So the first one is really, really good question around the process in which the AI is able to take the information to determine if an asset is approved for usage or not. Is this very much the AI doing this automatically? Like, where does that live? So some of the conversation back and forth has been around, obviously we're looking at approved assets that comes from the metadata that's hosted within the DAM and the rights and the permissions that are all managed and maintained in the DAM. We're not overriding any of that, of course. But essentially that then extended the question or the comment to there's very much still a manual thing where somebody still has to input, you know, expiration rights, usage, metadata. I would say that that's the case, although a lot of DAMs do have native AI capabilities that they're embedding to do a lot of automated tagging, metadata management, integrating with rights management systems, watermarking, copyright, things like this. So it does take some of the manual load away, but from a CI Hub perspective, and Fabian, please add to this, we're very much using what's already been provided and set at the permission level of the DAM.
Correct. Yeah, all of this lives in the DAM and different organizations handle this different. For some it's automated, for some it's manual, but whatever the DAM offers, and I know there's like a wide gamut of features and functionalities of the different DAMs. Here I'm just showing one as an example, but different DAMs have specialist workflows for different industries, for example, in publishing, in brand management, whatever it might be. Each DAM has kind of their own niche and speciality, and they almost all expose this information via metadata. And we give this metadata to the AI, and the AI then has this information. It doesn't make that up. We send it to it with this MCP technology. So AI just knows that the copyright notice says approved for Canva, and that's how it knows that it can use this image in Canva. This is just an example. Your dams or your approval processes might be different, but as long as it's exposed via the API, the AI can use it.
Yeah, and exactly, Christina. So the metadata is the truth, absolutely, source of truth, right?
Yeah.
Precisely. Another really good question that we had come in, just for those that are a little bit more unfamiliar with CI Hub, asking if this connects into SharePoint, for example. 100%. So we showed an example with Frontify and potentially Dropbox. We have over, the list keeps growing, so excuse if I get the number wrong, but we have over 60 integrations into different DAM partners of ours, as well as MAM partners, as well as storage vendors. And that also goes across all of things like Microsoft Office 360. So if you're using SharePoint or other applications within Outlook, all the way into 20 plus and continually growing different applications across the enterprise as well. So you saw Canva as an example today. The Adobe Creative Cloud and all of the applications under the Creative Cloud are also supported. So, you know, accessing and seeing your assets ready and available for use in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Adobe
Figma.
Express, Figma, Sketch. Please do go to our website, ci-hub.com. And you'll see the full list of both the DAM partners, the storages, and the applications in which the host application systems that we integrate to. The one thing I'll say is if you do not see the application, the host application you're looking for an integration with, or your DAM vendor is not on our list, just reach out. This is our business. This is what we do. It's our differentiator. That is the core to our business, is building, developing, and maintaining these integrations. So yeah, please do let us know if there's one that you're interested in.
And
yep.
At this point, I can mention something or give a little heads up. What you've seen today is how we give data to the AI in the AI tool. So you still have to open a Claude or plug it into the N8N or wherever the AI tool lives. What we're working on is bringing the AI back into those host systems like the Figmas, like the Words, like the PowerPoints, so that you can interact with your AI there while that AI has access to all your assets, and you can ask AI to fetch you something for a PowerPoint presentation in PowerPoint and then have it directly inserted into the PowerPoint slide right there without context switching, without having lots of different tools open, without having to download and re-upload things. That's coming up. I hope to be able to demo it shortly. We already have sort of internal alpha versions running of that. But yeah, hopefully soon I can show that as well.
And I think it's a really good point. Like, our goal is to keep you in the applications and in the workplace of your choice without you having to move out of your day-to-day workflows and open new applications and move into other tools to search and download and then, you know, re-upload into your applications that you're using. So the idea is just how we meet you where you're at. And if your organization isn't looking to adopt an AI chat application where you all go as your go-to, then the idea is that you stay in the application of choice. You stay in PowerPoint and you request what you need via the PowerPoint application that you live in, right? You stay in Canva and you can do all this work via Canva. Or subsequently, if your organization is moving in the direction of everybody logs in the morning and they log into Copilot and they live and breathe Copilot, or they live and breathe, you know, an AI that you've generated internally that connects into Claude or ChatGPT or whatever it happens to be, you have the option, right? And that's always been our goal, is to make sure that we meet you where you work. We bring the assets and we make them accessible where you work. So yeah, we're gonna keep on that thread. Another question that came in that was interesting, kind of semi-answered it, semi-didn't, was around the pricing. So from a software engineering standpoint, Steph was saying that in the AI space, obviously, it's getting more and more expensive in terms of token and credit-based access. Companies are moving more into this monthly subscription model, and being charged for every API call that's made. So we run, how we're running our pricing model in terms of API calls and per token. Credit-based is very much what the market's doing at the moment. But down the road, how do we think the cost of AI features develop in the future? I don't know if you have an opinion on it, Fabian. I know it's like, yeah.
I do have something to say about that. So of course, well, there's two different viewpoints on this. Number one is that some people believe the AI tokens will continuously get cheaper, and the limits will go higher and higher. That is one way sort of to look at it, and you can, if you look at the strategies behind an OpenAI versus a Claude, OpenAI is like trying to massively scale and reduce the cost per token, and therefore get an advantage, whereas Claude struggling with that. They don't have this huge, I mean, they have a lot of money too, but not maybe quite as much as OpenAI, and can't invest it in data centers that essentially turn into tokens. So they differentiate a little bit better. But some people say the tokens will become very cheap in a commodity. There will be a fight or a price kind of differentiator between the different LLMs, because the quality of the LLMs will be the same. The price will be the differentiator. For sure, it will get cheaper, I think. But number two, or another viewpoint on this is there will be an industry around token minimization. Token minimization techniques. How can you achieve the same thing with fewer AI tokens? And we're thinking about this too. We're actually designing our MCP connector with that in mind. So we've given it, for example, bulk actions. So if you want to rename 50 files, you can do that in one bulk action. You don't have to do 50 individual calls, or have the AI do it. You can bulk download, and so on and so forth. So we're already thinking with that in mind. There are probably more optimizations we can use. If you want to get technical, there's some like certain ways of passing over data that's more efficient than others. So that is also something we're looking at to keep the costs at a minimum.
Yeah, thanks, Fabian. I think we've pretty much answered the questions. The others in the chat, you all have answers in. I shared out the link to Christina's report. Somebody had requested that. You'll click the link and see a landing page. Just pop in your information, and you'll be able to download the report. And yeah, I think that's it from the chat. I think we've got a minute left. So unless anybody else had any other questions, Fabian, if you wanted to close us out, I think that's fine.
Just a final quote. The organizations that move from experiment to enterprise are the ones that waited until AI is perfect. AI will never be perfect, in fact, because it's non-deterministic. It will be different every time, but it doesn't need to be. They're the ones, the successful people will be the ones who build the structure around the AI that makes it good enough to trust it. So that is my final little quote for today. Here are the reports we referenced, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Fabian and Lara. And thank you everyone for joining us live today. Just a reminder that you'll receive the recording of this session tomorrow, so you can rewatch it at any time. And we hope to see you again soon at another Henry Stewart webinar. Goodbye.